What is up, my trader homies? It's your boy Kevin from Touchdown Trades, your trading BFF, your stock market bestie. Today we're going to be breaking down this AMD. Put in a huge move today, up, nice little run up today, over 15% on the day, hitting highs of almost $70 a share on news that Intel is having trouble with their new 7 nano tech that was supposed to be released here shortly. They came out with news today that it's delayed about 6 months. So that sent AMD higher. So we're going to be breaking down this move. I'm also going to show you guys the trade I took today, actually 2 trades in AMD, where I'm up about $1,000 on the day on AMD, only stock I traded today, $960 to be exact. So that's what we're going to be breaking down in today's Touchdown Trades market analysis. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so Intel this morning, or yesterday after hours, came out with news that their 7 nano tech, which was their new chip that they were going to come out with, is delayed by about 6 months. So the production and release date is behind. And you guys are probably asking yourself, Kevin, why would bad news in Intel, why would that send AMD stock higher? Well, the two are competitors. And if Intel's new chip isn't going to be released in time and they're having issues, that allows AMD to kind of weasel in, fly under the radar, and steal some market share from Intel, which is big because, as you guys know, Intel is the biggest chip manufacturer. You go to Best Buy and look at the laptops or computers, most of the laptops will have Intel in them, and very few have AMD. AMD has made some really big strides in gaining some market share over the last few years, but Intel is still the king of the castle in that sector. So let's jump into the charts and talk about this move in AMD. We'll break down the chart, talk about the trade I took, and also break down Intel's chart as well. Alright, so got a 5-minute chart pulled up here. We can see, let's break down the trades first. So this is a 1-minute chart. I actually only shorted AMD today. Let me hide my face. So I got short AMD right here off the bell because of these 2 topping tail candles. We can see there was 2 topping tail candles in the first, let's say, 10 minutes of the day, 5-10 minutes of the day. One here and one here. So I got short as it came up and retested that level. I immediately was down big on the trade as it broke over that level, and I almost stopped out on it, but I noticed it started to chop around and we had some weakness come into it with some topping tails, so I stayed in the trade. If it would have broken over that prior high, I would have been stopped out, but it didn't, and I got to cover like 3/4 of the position on that, or 2/3 of the position on that wash, and I covered the last 500 shares on that second wash. The second trade was a fake out breakout. Okay, so we had that high put in, and it came up and broke that high right here. So we broke that high, and typically when you have a high day break like that, it should maybe come back and retest it and then blast off, but it looked really weak once it broke over that high. So I got short again, and then I covered 1,000 on the crack, and then another 500 as it started to base out, and that put me up around $1,000 on the day. So nothing crazy. It wasn't a huge day for me, but base hits add up, and I didn't want to push it. So I'm walking away green on the day. Really big green week for me, closing the week out strong. That's the way I like to do it, in the week green. So let's break down this AMD chart from a longer time frame, from kind of like a swing trading or investing perspective. First, let's look at a monthly chart, and we can see that we are trading at all-time highs. It's just put in a monster move. We can see over the last few years or so, lows of $1 something per share, $1.60 something. In what year was that? Like 2014 or 15. We put in lows of $1.61. Today we hit highs of $70 a share. AMD has really been strong the last few years as retail traders have flocked to it, and they have also made strides in gaining some market share. We can see we had a prior high, the previous all-time high at 48.50, and we've just crushed that all-time high. There's nothing really to base a trade off of on the longer time frame charts because we are trading at all-time high levels. So we're going to have to dive into like a daily chart to try to base a trade off of, probably even faster than that. We do have this kind of descending trend line that I like a lot. If we do get a pullback into that level, I would like to base a swing trade off of it, risking off that trend line. But there's no way you can trade this AMD properly up here trading at all-time highs because there's nothing to risk off of. For a swing trade, I want to see this thing pull back and consolidate, and then you can get long and risk off of that trend line. But from an investment perspective and a kind of swing trade perspective, this thing is just extended and needs to pull back some before I get interested in it. So we can look at like a 15-minute chart and see you could maybe get long on a faster time frame based on like a 15-minute chart, risking off this level here around 65 or so. But I think it's just a little extended right now and needs some time to breathe. And I do like it if it comes back down and retest this trend line. As we can see that it's tested it once, failed twice, and then we finally had to break over it. And once it broke over it, it came and consolidated over it, telling us that this thing is a pretty valid trend line and I would like to get long in front of it. But from a long-term investor standpoint, no way. It's just too expensive. I think it's overvalued, and we'll get more into that in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at the Intel chart. Pull up Intel here. We can see it's down huge on the day. Let's look at a one-day chart, and this is when the news came out. We had the quick hard sell, and we kind of just drifted lower all day long. If you got short this thing early in the day, you had a stress-free day, and you caught a nice trade. But I like this Intel more as an investment than I do the AMD. I don't really like Intel for a swing trade because I think the news is substantial and it could head lower. But I think Intel is going to be the mainstay in the semiconductor chip sector for many years to come. And if you're an investor, I normally don't talk about investing on this channel. As you guys know, I'm a trader. I'm an active trader, day trader, and swing trader. So I really don't talk about much investing on this channel, but I do like this Intel for an investment because it's just a blue chip, and anytime you can get a blue chip at a heavy discount, it's a good deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start accumulating maybe 1/5 the position size I want at, say, 50 on the next pullback, and then I'll take another fifth at 48, every $2 or so, scooping up a little more, and then you have a nice cost basis, say at 46, and then when it does get that scoop, you have a nice 4 or 5 month trade, and then you sell for a nice profit. All right, so that's what we're going to wrap up the charts here. I do want to show you guys something before we close this out. Let's head back on to the old internet here, the old net. All right, so AMD, I just want to talk about the value of AMD and show you guys how expensive it truly is. So we can look at the price to earnings ratio, basically shows how high a company or how low a company is trading, how expensive it is compared to its actual income. So we have a PE on AMD of 146, which is extremely high, and a forward PE, which is forward-looking, of 39, almost 40. So the forward PE is much lower, indicating that we have a lot of growth going on in this AMD. However, it is still very, very expensive compared to its peers. All right, so let's look at Intel, and we can see that Intel has a price to earnings ratio, if FinViz wants to cooperate with me here, It wants to give me an ad, of course. Finviz and their ads, it's just like, give me a break. All right. So we can see that we got a PE on this Intel of under 12 and a forward PE of a little over 12. So it's not as growing as fast as AMD, but it's extremely discounted compared to its competitor AMD. That's why I like this Intel as an investment and not so much AMD because of the price to earnings. It's too expensive and it's overvalued from my perspective. So I hope you guys got something from this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. I appreciate the view, and I appreciate all the subscribers that have been coming to the channel. We've been growing very fast, and I just want to say thank you. If you got something from the video, subscribe. Posting videos, trying to every day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.